Are you a seven-figure business owner who is struggling to blow past that 10 million a year mark? Maybe you're going for 20 million, 30 million, but it feels like you're stuck. You're like what you've tried isn't working and you're ready to maybe step back. Well, you're in luck. In this video, I'm going to show you three superlative techniques, three steps that I've used for years to help entrepreneurs and business owners, even solopreneurs, blow past doing 10 million a year all the way up to 30 million. And so if you're interested in that, you're in the right place. Stick around. Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Alexander Van Buren, and I help business owners and entrepreneurs to quantum leap their mindset, to attain the exact skills they need to be at another level, both personally and for their business, and also to enter into a thing I call entrepreneurial momentum, where they experience quantum leaps and breakthrough after breakthrough and quantum leap after quantum leap. I have a special announcement on this video, one of the first ones I'm making in this YouTube channel here, and that is that in 3 days, on March 14th of 2025, I celebrate 30 years, 3 decades of running a seminar company as an entrepreneur, still running it. It's my labor of love, being a behavioral modeler, and coaching and training business owners on a weekly and bi-weekly basis to do those 3 things I just talked about. So welcome to the channel. So what's the real heart and soul of this problem? Why is it you may be struggling to 10x your business to get over 8 figures as I'm describing it? It could be a little more, it could be quite a bit more than 8 figures. The solution is this, or actually, first of all, let me define the nature of the cause of the problem. In a nutshell, it's this. What got you to 7 figures isn't what you need to get beyond 8 figures, to 10x or 15x or 20x. In other words, the resources, the model, the beliefs, the identity, the role you're playing, the team level you have, and I want to emphasize again, maybe even your business model is not what it needs to be to do 10x or to get past 8 figures. So that tells us that the solution is a whole new set of resources. So rather than just list all kinds of resources in this video, I'm going to show you a 3-step formula, simple, clean, easy to do, that'll help you clarify the exact resources that will make the biggest difference in terms of you bridging over beyond that 8-figure mark. Think of it this way. Imagine in front of you a box over here and a box over there. And one of them is where you are now, and then there's a big arrow over to where you want to be. Well, on that arrow, put the word resources. Resources include all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about the most important ones for you to focus on. They're the ones I've seen make the biggest difference. So I hope you're ready. Let's get started. Here is step 1. You need to create a more clear vision than you've ever had on what your 8-figure, that's what I'll name it, your 8-figure business looks like. So in other words, you've got to start with a vision of what it is when it's already there at that annual revenue mark. And then you've got to look at what resources does it have. In a sense, you need to time travel in your imagination. Be in that business. What's it do? What actions does it take? What resources does it have now? What kinds of team players? What kinds of products and services? How does it do its marketing? And so on. You know, years ago, I mentioned earlier in this video that I'm celebrating 30 years of running a seminar company, and it wasn't until later that I started all kinds of different businesses. Well, early on, when I set the vision for that seminar company, I was doing little things for individuals. And I created this vision. I thought, I want to do trainings for these big successful companies, but how in the world would I find them? How would I do that? So I created a visual picture of it. What would it look like if these big companies were calling me in? What resources would I have? How would I find them? How would I talk to them? I even remember way back then, and this is really funny, but I had hair down to the middle of my back, and I could reach up behind and reach my hair and touch my hair behind my back. So I remember when I was conceiving this, that's kind of funny looking at me now. I thought, I need to cut my hair. I need to look more corporate if I'm going to have these big companies calling me. Well, it didn't take long before let me put it this way. The vision will pull you into the reality. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. It literally can't distinguish. I'll say fantasy meaning a well-imagined fantasy that feels real. So not one that we label as fantasy, but one that feels real. So you want to create this visualization of your future company and then step into it. And also I recommend listing the resources, time, money, people. What does it look like and how is it acting? Well, it wasn't before long that I started getting calls. I remember them very well all these years later. Some big companies would call and I'd have conversations, and I kept going back to that vision. What would I be doing? How would I be talking? How would this go out? What kind of contract would I need? And at one point I booked training for $100 million a year company. And at that time that was a big deal for me. And that was over 25 years ago. And I've never looked back. Now, Microsoft has called us for speakers, and one company did 27 billion the last year they brought me in as a trainer, and modeling for George K. Baum, they did $1 billion a year, so it came true. But remember that the vision needs to have details. Remember, it's how is the company acting and what resources does it already have? Remember, people, money, processes, what's it able to do? And you can list out some categories of resources. Remember, money is not the only one, and people are not the only ones. You want to list processes, capabilities, and skills. What about how does your company market at that level? Remember, it's got to look and feel different from what your company is now. Many years ago, I did a modeling project I referred to, and as part of it, I studied mortgage originators, and I used to read Mortgage Originator magazine. They weren't who I was modeling, but it was a parallel industry. And MOM used to have the top 2% of what they used to call mortgage originators, loan officers. So I was studying them, and the most amazing thing I discovered was that there was a guy who, in one of his interviews, he said, to do over 100 million in gross loan volume and be one of these top 2% in the whole nation, he said, I didn't know what it would really look like, he said, until I went into a mortgage office across the country of a guy who was doing 140 million a year. And I walked around it and he showed it to me. He said, when I got back to my office, I knew exactly what to do. He said, I knew what it needed to look and feel like. And I will never forget that. He had done the visionary strategy, but he'd actually gone out physically to see a business that was where he wanted to be. And so I want to give you that as a special bonus. You can do it in your imagination, and you get extra points if you can actually step into a business that's already there or close to the way you want your business, and both of them are good. So step one, in summary, is create a much more clear vision of your company at 8 figures and beyond, and drill down into the details of the resources and the actions that it already does to be there. And then you can run it by some other people and get their input. Step 2 is to do the exact same thing you just did with your business, but with you. Remember that as the owner or one of the owners, the people making the most important strategic decisions in your business, that your business really is a reflection of you. That's not just a saying. It is sometimes literally true, but it is very much an extension of your skills and capabilities. So step 2 is to look at that vision you made in step 1 and then start asking questions about who you need to be. Look at you in that movie or imagination scenes. What are you doing differently? What skills do you possess that you don't possess right now in your 7 figure business? What are the skills, capabilities? What actions? What beliefs do you have? Do you spend more time in flow and momentum? Do you delegate more? Most likely you'll notice you're getting things done through other people a lot more. And if you use leverage, you're getting things done through people, systems, and technology. But what else? What do you do? What's your role? And step into that, define it and step into it. That is step 2, because you need a new self-image and, in a sense, a new role and identity, or you'll always come up against your own disbelief that you're that person running that company. So step 2 is about you, but I recommend always do the vision of your company first, and then who do you need to be with these criteria I mentioned as just a few. Your beliefs, your actions, your skills and capabilities. What do you need to be good at? You'll probably find that delegating, outsourcing, things that, creating teams and so on, they're different. Like, you've got to get out of the day-to-day operations that you probably used to start your 7-figure business. So these are the skill sets. Make sure you're crystal clear on what they are, and then step into them and start to feel it. Remember, the subconscious doesn't know the difference, so step in and imagine what it's like. You're now creating a template for your 8-figure and beyond business. Step 3 is mindset, but it's a unique kind of mindset. I mentioned a new self-image, a new identity. Mindset is such a vast topic that I could do hundreds of videos on it. I've been doing it and teaching it and modeling it for as long as I can remember. So for the sake of this video being tight and to the point, I just want to let you know that step 3 is to make a project out of quantum leaping your mindset. And what I want to do is tell you why this is so vital. I kind of left the most important and best for last, so to speak. Look, you can never outperform your self-image. And I've seen so many, that's a scientific law. You'll hear me repeat it. When I have quantum leaped business owners, I always start with the owner's sense of self, with their flow and their momentum and what they feel capable of. When something feels possible and you're capable and you know the path, you have clarity, you get it, and you're doing clarity for a bigger vision, for the fulfillment of something bigger, and you start to feel like a different person. I've given examples of this in some of my first videos here, but just know that your mindset is crucial. So step 3 is to make a project out of mindset, like say your 8-figure mindset, and name it something like that, and then focus on it, make a project out of it, put it in a folder, however you do it. This is your step 3, because it's so important. I would say, in addition, move it up on your list of priorities, because put it this way, you can't get there without the mindset that's required. And the mindset is subtle and it's a little bit nebulous, but if you focus on it, you can get it. But so many business owners kind of take a left brain approach. They think it's all about their operating system and all this stuff, and yet they have not changed. And to be delegating and outsourcing and automating systems, when I leveraged out of my speakers bureau all 14 systems, I was a different person. I was a different entrepreneur. That's one business that I've done this with myself. And I've seen several business owners who struggle. They do all the stuff, but they just can't get beyond their own mindset. It's your beliefs, your assumptions. So I have a special gift for you, or bonus in this audio. I'm going to put a link below on the 5 mindset shifts that I've seen make the biggest difference for entrepreneurs. I made a video on it, and it'll explain those 5 and even give you a template, a worksheet, so you can start taking action on making those shifts. So I'll drop a link below, and you can check it out. So number 3 is the mindset shift. I've actually identified 5 shifts that make the biggest difference, and they're described in that video I just mentioned. But the idea is, make sure you put this at the top of your list. Don't think it's what you do. You hire people. If you're not the leader and CEO of that new company, it can't last for very long. In a sense, that's a belief that you need to have. It helps you to change yourself. Hey, if you liked this video, please subscribe. I just started this YouTube channel. I don't know when you're watching this video. I know they stick around on YouTube and other channels for a while, but it's really exciting in 2025. I put it all together and launched it. Maybe I'll make some videos about launching new initiatives that are outside your comfort zone, because this one certainly is and has been beyond mine for some time. And but here I am rolling out videos and podcasts. So please subscribe if you liked it, and download that free report. I have some other links there for you, and have a lot of free things I'll be sending you. And also, I'd like to invite you to comment on my videos. I'd love to hear what you think. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the other side.